Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those new here, my name is Nikki, I'm an author and editor and I post videos here on YouTube about writing, editing, reading and all the other things I love. Now today we're here for a tag. It's a booktube tag. I found it in Emma Rosen Books YouTube channel, but the original tag was by Lindsay's Little Library and I'll put all those links in the description below for you. The tag in question that we're doing today is Dilemmas of a Book Nerd. We've got 10 questions. So we'll zoom right through them and get started. Dilemma number 1, book storage. How do you store and organise your books? Well, behind me you can see my bookshelves. Anyone who follows me at all will have seen other pictures, I'm sure, on social media of my bookshelves. They stretch out a short way this way to the wall there and along part of the next short wall there. They were custom built to fit the space because we've got quite large ceilings, quite high ceilings here, and I love them. So all my books are on this shelf, apart from a small handful of computer kind of related software books that are in the study near the computer. My husband's got his own little bookshelf in the study too, so these are all just mine. I organise them by genre category and then sometimes also into alphabetical by author and or title after that, depending on the category and how they look and fit in with the sizing and things, but essentially by genre. So we're standing here near the classics shelf at the moment, or shelves I should say, it's quite a few classics. Moving on to dilemma 2, tracking. How do you keep track of what you've read and what books you own? In terms of what I've read, I use Goodreads. I have all my books on there. Whenever I get a new book I add it onto the to read list and then shift them around in categories as I read them. And in terms of keeping track of what I own, this used to be a major problem. When I lived back in England, I was living in my parents' house. All my books had to be in sort of multiple rows in front of the other in the top shelf of the wardrobe. So I did once or twice accidentally buy books I already had. So since moving here it's less of an issue because I can see everything at a glance. However, I do still use an Access database, and every time I buy a new book I log it in there so that if I'm in doubt about what I've got I can double check. I actually log all my CDs and DVDs in that database too. Dilemma number 3, borrowing. Do you lend your books out? Very rarely. I would only lend the book to someone, a friend or family member who I knew really well and I knew that they would look after it, because I don't like cracking spines, I don't like bending covers, turning page corners, anything like that. So if I think the person who I lend the book to will respect that, then they can borrow it, but otherwise no, I'm not a big lender. Dilemma number 4, buying. How do you buy or acquire your books? This is quite a mix. I get a lot at Christmas and for my birthday from my mother and my husband. And my birthday's in December too, so they tend to last me for the first few months of the year. If I get money for birthday and Christmas and Easter, then I often spend out at least part of it on some books too. So I buy some, I borrow a few from the library, and of course as a professional reader I do get ARCs, both e-ARCs and print ARCs from publishers as well. Dilemma number 5, comments. How do you respond to the "how do you read so much" comment or similar? I do get that quite a lot because I do read a lot of books during the year. I usually just explain that I'm a very quick reader. I've done a few quizzes online where they test your reading speed and you have to read the page as quickly as possible, then answer questions to make sure you've actually taken in what you've read. And I've always scored something like 200% more than the average, things like that. So I'm a very fast reader and I read, but it's not skimming, I'm still taking everything in. So that really helps. And I make sure I read at least half an hour up to an hour and a half, depending on what's going on in the evening, before I go to bed. Dilemma number 6, the next book. How do you pick your next read? If I have ARCs, sometimes this depends on when the ARC review is due. So there's that aspect. When it's just books that I've had bought for me for birthday or Christmas and things like that, then I just go on what I feel like. I have a look at the list, which one jumps out at me that seems the most appealing, I want to read next. Number 7, travel. How do you pick what books to bring on vacation with you? This one's a hard one. Essentially, I really don't that much. I don't read a lot on holiday. Usually we're out and about during the day doing things because I'm not a lie on the beach holiday kind of person. I'm a visiting cities, sightseeing kind of person. So the days are busy. In the evenings I'm usually writing up a little note about what we did that day, planning what we're doing the next day. maybe watching a bit of local television. So I don't do a huge amount of reading. At most I might take 1 or 2 ebooks on my tablet just in case I have some spare time, but it's not something I do a huge amount while I'm away. Dilemma 8, annotate. Do you write, highlight or mark up your books? Essentially no. The only exception was back in school and university days when we were kind of actively encouraged, if not told to, but it's not something I do as an adult now. Number 9, new or backlist titles, which do you prefer? I actually don't have a preference here. Sometimes I might come across an author mid-career, and if I really love their works then I'd go back and read their backlist and then carry on reading their new releases. So I definitely don't have a preference. I'll read a bit of both. I'm actually still trying to finish backlists for Haruki Murakami and Milan Kundera as I film this video, and I am filming this video, 9 to 12 months in advance of when it's going to be posted. So I probably will have finished them by the time this goes up, but yeah, so either way. And finally, Dilemma 10, sequels. Do you read books as they're released or wait for an entire series? Generally I would read them as released. I mean, maybe if it was a series and I saw the final book was coming in a month or something, then I'd hold off, but probably not. Even then really, I generally do read stuff as it comes out and just have to live with the wait in between books. So that is the end of the Dilemmas of a Book Nerd tag. If you enjoyed it and want to participate, please do so. Questions are below. Drop me a comment if you do. Let me know if you filmed your own video. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I will end there for now, but I'll be back again very soon with another video for you all. Bye for now, everyone.